You didn't think it was going to be you.
So, I thought so it would be.
You were like, not me, not me, not me, not me. Everyone just went. So let's see what you have to talk about.
Yes. Well, I'm a little nervous now.
Yeah.
I have had experience, actually, of... I don't remember very much of my childhood because my mother was studying on high school, on university actually, and she was leaving since I was 1 year old. She was leaving to come to Prague to study for half of the week. And eventually they broke up, my dad and my mom, and I stayed with my dad. Mm-hmm. So I have this wish of wanting to remember more of my childhood, mm-hmm. to actually rediscover the gifts and joy and also the difficult parts, to face that. And I was praying at some points to do that. And I just wanted to ask you if maybe you can give me some tip on how to do that.
Yes, but I'm going to lead off with a question.
Okay.
Why do you feel like it's important to remember it?
Yeah, I feel that there is a big part of me that is incomplete.
So you can. So this is exactly what I wanted to get at. You feel like there's a part of you that's kind of trapped somewhere, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gloating. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people who are into this, like law of attraction, positive focus stuff that will tell you that the past is in the past, leave it behind, and go forward. And that would be lovely if it was possible for the consciousness of a human, but it's not. Mm-hmm. So I completely support your idea. Of course you knew that. So, how much have you been doing? What have you already done to try to remember?
Well, I made the intention, I prayed, but on and off, and it's not like, it hasn't been an ongoing work of mine to kind of sit and try and remember.
Which it should be.
It should, yeah, as I'm saying it, I realize it should be.
Okay, there's a reason why people don't remember things, especially when they're traumatizing. It's the way that the brain works. So I don't know how many of you really know about the childhood which I experienced, but it was full of really extreme abuse. And at one particular point, I was basically inducted into a cult. And in this cult, part of what I must admit to doing as a teenager was deliberately programming children. Yeah, isn't that great? It's benefiting me today, right? Why? Because now I get to use a lot of these techniques to set people free. The mental chess game, you know? Mm-hmm. But what we were deliberately programming for is what the brain already does, which is to hide memories. So you can do that. I mean, it's important for you guys to know that for people who are, really causing damage because of mentally programming children, one of the things that they do on purpose is to help the mind forget. You can't do that to the brain. You have to work with what the brain does already. So this is how it works. If the brain experiences an extreme traumatic situation that it can't assimilate with the rest of its life. So like I experienced this thing which I can't make fit in with the life I'm living day to day, right? Then the brain will actually tuck it away from the consciousness. It's stuck in your subconscious mind. There is no conscious memory of it. Also, it will fracture and fragment the memory. So let's say that you have a painful experience like being, let's just take something mundane, because by the way, for your mind to forget a memory, it doesn't necessarily have to be what the adult self thinks is traumatic. It can be something like we were describing earlier. Mom goes to answer the phone, I'm left by myself. That could be enough, traumatizing enough, to make the mind fracture the memory. What I mean by that is your smell of the crib could be stored separately from the look of you being in the crib, could be stored separately from the feeling of being in that crib. And so when you get triggered, let's pretend that the trigger is my girlfriend left me, right? I'm just taking the previous scenario. If the trigger is my girlfriend left me, maybe I'll just get the feeling but no context, meaning I can't see the images. So what we have to first understand, especially you, is that you are remembering a lot of things without realizing that it's a memory. That's what a trigger is. It's actually the feeling part of a memory. Interesting, right?
Right.
And everyone has triggers. So it's almost like the mind has the most difficult time suppressing the emotional aspect of a memory. So what we want to do, I'll back up. When you are first born on this planet, you are experiencing your life through felt perception, meaning that you feel the world before you see the world. So the baby has an experience of the feeling of gravity in the body, that's a feeling, right? Before it ever sees a physical thing. So when your memories, and yours, especially yours, because so much of your trauma is, again, infant-based, you will notice that a great many of your memories are primarily felt sensation. So you're actually getting the memory. It's just that you're wanting it to look like it looks to an adult. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here's the issue. Ready? When you have had a memory that comes from the time period in childhood where you experienced the world through felt perception, you're not going to be able to get there through your mind, through images. That's why your mind can't cognitively remember, but your emotions, they remember. And that's how to access them. So I want you to think about your emotions as if they're a rope that tie you to the memories. So
Right.
what do you have to follow to get to the memories? The emotion.
Yeah.
How much of that have you been doing?
Well, gradually more and more, but I was, and still to a point I am at certain times that like, oh, emotions, don't get near me.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So
This is the theme today. That's your practice, though.
yeah,
I'm
Right.
assigning you a practice. The practice is, I want you in your emotions squarely. So this is a two-part process. And any of you who have a difficulty feeling your emotions, I want you to follow along with this, okay? What I want you to do is every morning, first thing when you wake up, not a second later, when you sit up in bed, you can go pee if you have to. But before you eat, I want you to sit down, and I want your meditative practice to be 5 minutes, no more. 5 minutes of feeling your feelings in your body.
Okay.
Emotion is going to translate as a sensation.
all right.
So like I may be using the word anxiety. What is anxiety like in the body? Maybe it's a contraction. Maybe it's a buzzing. I'm paying attention to the sensations. And instead of trying to change them or get out of them or observe them, I just want to feel them. So you're almost inviting them to take over your body. I can give you a simile which will make it very easy for you to understand what to do. Want it?
Okay.
It's pretty aggressive, though. Okay, if you guys were heroin addicts, right, and I brought like a syringe up to your arm, and I injected you with heroin, what's the first thing you would do? Yeah, but why? But why? Because you'd surrender to the drug. You'd be like, and you just like let it take over your whole body. What I'm asking you to do in these morning meditations is to do that with your own emotion.
Okay.
So you're inviting it to take over your whole body.
Nice.
And then the more conscious you can become of it, the better. You can write down if you're a writer, you can write down the sensations. You can look at those sensations, and then if you have a hard time identifying emotion, you can maybe get a whole list of emotions and see if you can link it to one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real fun one for those of us that have an issue like identifying emotion. If you print off a whole sheet, you can say, oh, buzzing, like static, feels heavy. Pessimism. Yeah. So you start to get to, you're basically learning your own compass, which is it's a much more complicated compass than north, south, east, west, you know? So that's step one. Step two is, because this is just the primary steps. Step two is, I want you throughout the day to set a timer for yourself so you're forced to check back in with your internal world.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to do it every hour. I mean, people who are diehards, how do I explain diehards in Czech? People who are very dedicated, to this kind of practice, they'll do every 10 minutes. So you can decide somewhere in the middle or whatever. And so when the timer goes off, you take your attention back inside your body, and instead of doing a full meditation on it, you're just checking in with the sensations. Mm-hmm. And you might notice, wow, I'm really uncomfortable, or I'm actually feeling that elated feeling. It feels good. So it's just that you're becoming aware of the emotion. Now it will make you more sensitive. I must give that warning in advance. Our society on this planet has to change. Like, there's none of us that are awakened that don't agree with that, right? And the way that our society is going to change is if we are willing to be sensitive enough that we literally have to make those changes. Because the society we've got right now is too hard, much too hard. Like, nobody is doing well in it. Look around you. It's very rare to find someone who's happy, very rare to find someone who's healthy. That says one thing to me, and that's that the society we created is unhealthy. It has to shift. So it's going to take some brave individuals who are basically willing to say, you know what, I'm going to practice feeling, even if it's going to make life more uncomfortable for me, so that I can make the right choices for me of where to go and what kind of job to pick. And if everyone was doing that, you see that society would have to shift. It would not, it couldn't be sustainable, because these sensitive people couldn't take those jobs. They'd have to invent a robotics program for them, and like, people wouldn't treat each other that way. They wouldn't raise children that way. You see all of the benefits? But I do want to warn you in advance if you're doing this, because if you're used to being cut off from your emotions and you suddenly tune into them, even though your life can be so much better on the other side, it will be much harder for you to just cope with life, because the interaction that didn't bug you before is going to start bugging you. But the good stuff's also going to be 10 times better. So that's my warning. So that's what I want you to do first.
Thank you. And
then you can do the completion process.
Right.
Because that will bring the memory back.
Yeah.
So how I just explained how you're going to feel the emotion take you over, right? Like a heroin addict. When you get triggered by something, do you understand triggers enough?
Yes.
Okay. When you get triggered by something, I'm going to have you do the same thing. So you'll already be familiar with the process by then. Mm-hmm. So I get triggered, right? I let the whole feeling consume me completely, and then I ask the question, when was the first time I felt this way? When was the first time I felt this way? And you will get images and you'll get sensations of these memories. They will come back to you.
Yeah.
But your brain right now, see, you've gotten a mixed message going, because your brain right now is saying, I want to be complete. Not just your brain, your soul. I want to be whole. I want that part of me back. But there's another part of you that's conflicting that message right now, as saying, but I don't want to feel it.
Yep.
And so your being is trying to preserve you right now by saying, all right, he's not ready. Trust me, if he's not ready to feel, he's not ready to know this stuff. Make sense?
Yep. I'll
Do you
practice.
see how, like, if you were to go through something really traumatic, you couldn't cope with most of your life? You'll see this actually most primarily with this disappearing memory syndrome, basically, in incest situations where, let's say, there's a little girl who was messed with sexually by her father or something. You have a choice, your mind basically has a choice, to continue forward thinking that dad's a monster, or to bury the memories so that you literally live a double life. The brain is more than capable of doing that. So it's a coping mechanism for the brain to shut down your conscious memory of something so that you can keep lining up with your life, keep behaving in an acceptable way so that society doesn't kick you to the curb.
I have a girlfriend now, and she lives in a different town, and she also goes away on Monday and comes back on Friday, so it's kind of a great trigger for me.
Don't you just love it when you become conscious of these patterns? I
Yeah.
hate that crap. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God. Yeah, we got some little kids to save. I promise you, tune into your emotions and we'll start going there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're the only one with your hand up. Oh, that was elegant. I felt like I was at prom. She just came down the stairs looking like a goddess.
Ahoj, Teal, budu mluvit česky.
Okay.
Ahoj, Teal.
Hello.
Já jsem se přišla zeptat. Mám velikou touhu tvořit v poslední době a mám z toho veliký strach. A sama sobě bráním. Tak jsem se chtěla zeptat, proč tomu tak je.
The feeling around you is almost like what you create is going to be rejected. Why?
Zkušenost?
Like, give us a story.
Je to příběh z dětství, je to vlastně odmítnutí. Já už když jsem se narodila vlastně, tak moje maminka jako, když jí řekli, to je holčička, tak řekli, tak ona řekla, tak to jí radši hoďte z balkóna.
Oh, how light and fluffy. You're so lucky. Fuck, okay. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works. If we have issues creating, which a lot of us in this audience do, we have to understand that our creations, we have a difficult time disidentifying with them. So that painting you make, or the dance that you do, that's an extension of you, right? So if you had an issue in your childhood where you were rejected, you're going to assume that everything you create is going to be rejected. So it causes you to just not put yourself out there at all. Sound familiar? So what we need to do is to find approval for the things you hate about you.
Jak?
I don't know if you guys have this in this language. I don't know if there's as big of an issue with the difference between approval and acceptance. But it's a big issue in the English language because you'll hear people say all the time, you'll hear them say, you got to find acceptance for yourself, right? I think it's ridiculous. Because to accept something is to say, I'll take it, but I don't want it, you know? That's not the vibration we're looking for. If you've got real rejection for yourself, you've got to find approval for the things you reject. That doesn't mean I'll take it. That means I want it. Interesting, huh? Now, it's a challenge, right? Because I don't want you to lie to yourself. So, like, you cannot lie to yourself and say that you want something that you don't want. But I'm challenging you to change your perspective about that thing you don't like to such a degree that you like it. Do you see the difference between lying to yourself that you want something or like something? Or telling true stories about why you might like something that you would dislike currently? I'll show you how this works. Give me something you hate about yourself.
Co na sobě nenávidím? Jsem hodně pracovala s touhletou tematikou, takže teď mě zrovna nic nenapadá, co by bylo jako skutečně pravdivý.
Well, we gotta find something.
Nedůslednost.
Lack of consistency, okay. So let's say that we have an issue like this of I don't like that I have a lack of consistency in my life. How do I think about having a lack of consistency in a way that makes me love it? But you don't get to come up with things that you don't actually believe. So like let's say a positive for lack of consistency is I'm more free, right? But you can feel in your emotional body that doesn't really feel good to you, then you don't get to use that excuse. You don't get to use that as proof. You have to only use things that do feel good about that. So let's brainstorm. Oh, and this is another good thing you can do with your friends, right? You can brainstorm. You know what brainstorming is like? Get together with them, and then they can give their ideas, and you can give your ideas about why it's a good thing to say, be inconsistent, or whatever you hate about yourself. Because these types of perspectives, which are outside, can sometimes see the full picture better than you can. So let's brainstorm. Why is it awesome to have no consistency?
Protože ten obrázek by byl nedokončený.
I didn't follow that one at all. No, I want to look for like much more solid things. Something like, I'll give you an idea. All right, why would it be good to not have consistency? If I have no consistency, I never do the same thing twice. My life will be exciting forever. That's one thing. See, that didn't feel good to you. That's one thing. Now, what I'm wanting is to create a giant list, like huge. So by the end of that list, you're like, oh, I like it. I like that. Now, those of you who are really scared of me telling you to approve of your negative emotions or negative traits, you're probably scared that they're going to get worse, right? So if I approve of the fact that I'm a cheater, I'm just going to cheat 10 times more on my husband, right? It's not actually how it works. What you'll notice is if you start focusing positively towards the thing that you currently reject in yourself, that trait will exalt. We call it an exaltation because you will not see the negative manifestation of that particular thing. You'll start seeing the positive manifestation. So instead of cheating all the time, you will see your life get more exciting. You will see your life get more spontaneous. That will be how that trait expresses itself. Now, why am I asking you to do this, you might ask? Whereas some people, I'll just ask them to change whatever trait is not so great about them, right? Or is causing them problems. This is why. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. If you identify with something, you know what I mean by identify? Like if you say, I am a dark person, you've already decided that's a part of you. So if you try to get rid of that part of you, you're just adding more self-rejection to your pile.
Rozumím.
So I want you to do those lists. Find the thing you hate about you and then involve people in brainstorming how it's awesome. A huge list. And, I want you to be thinking about it, doing the list for long enough that by the end of it, or even by the middle of it, I want you to feel the relief where you're like, wow, it's awesome. It's actually awesome to have no consistency. It's mental gymnastics. Then you're not going to be afraid to put yourself out there. Because this is the thing. If we find approval for ourselves, meaning I like this thing about me, you can't be a match. It's not possible for you to be a match to people that disapprove of you. They literally, even if they exist, you're not going to know it.
Já to tak cítím, že vlastně i vyhledávám jako takový zrcadla, který mi potvrdějí to, co ty části, které vlastně nepřijímám nebo nenávidím.
Yeah.
Takže ten obrácený způsob.
Yeah, so we're just flipping the coin. So do you feel like you know what you're supposed to do then?
Myslím, že jo.
Okay. All right.
Děkuju.
Yellow shirt right over in the corner there. I think it's yellow, is it? It's like checker with lines, gray hair, yeah. Watch, she steps up here and it's like completely not yellow. I was right. Hello.
Hello.
looks so much like the guy in Back to the Future.
Who's that?
Um,
It's a movie. or-
yeah, it's a movie.
Okay. God. As we were doing that introductory, so I'm a German. And there's a love and hate relationship to it as well, for me, with German being German.
I have never heard a German person not say that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So like, if you're worried about being unpatriotic, they all say that to me in secret. They come fly to my house, and then they're like, "You would not believe where I grew up. It's called Germany."
It's what?
It's called Germany.
Cult Germany. No, I really hated it in my childhood because I had to be the tough guy I never was. So
Yeah.
and I don't know. So part of what is doing it to me was so many things who were resonating what I was listening to, and the one was in the introductory meditation. Was that here in my abdomen or so, that yellow, should be the yellow, what is it, chakra? It's painful.
You
It's
won't
very
get
painful.
tested on it, don't worry.
Huh? What?
You won't get tested on it.
Okay.
I'm teasing you.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's painful, and I have it since childhood. I know that, and it has to do, I think, from my memory, with the rejection from my father, being struck as a child by another boy, and I worked with it in therapy, and it's a ring of fire that was as well. So it goes all the way here at the rib cage, and yeah, and I would like some help with it somehow. Yeah.
You have a lot of suppressed anger.
I guess so.
Yeah, anger is the one. It's interesting because, see, by the way, many of you can feel the warmth off of him, right? Very warm person, feels like you could just go up and kind of cuddle him, right? Beware those people, because they usually have the most suppressed rage, which is definitely true. It doesn't make you dangerous. Don't worry. It just means that what you've suppressed is anger and rage. Which is, of course, the byproduct of feeling totally powerless and like you could never express yourself completely. And what it's turned into is a liver condition.
Yes.
So when I look at your body, what has to happen is not just dealing with this on an emotional level, it's also dealing with it on a physical level.
So that liver cleansing.
Big time.
Okay.
Like, it's clogged to a very bad degree. I will tell you that as a medical intuitive.
Good. That was a question of mine, yeah.
It's clogged enough that it's affecting all of the downstream organs, which is what really worries us. That's
Good.
when your heart starts to be affected.
Right.
That's when your kidneys start to be affected, and
Okay.
your pancreas starts to not produce insulin the way it should. And, yeah.
Yeah, I'm diagnosed with diabetes somehow since some times. and-
Exactly.
Good. That was one of my positive
Yeah.
I wanted to,
Oh, good.
because I thought it's awful to get all this oil and lemon into. But I guess I have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I, since some time, really want to get you to Germany,
Oh, I'm
to
coming.
Berlin.
Oh, I'm
Berlin, or
coming.
better to Potsdam, that would be even better. Because I'm a Berliner, I'm now living in Potsdam, and Potsdam is kind of beautiful as well, because it has all, yeah, wonderful ancient buildings by Frederick the Great and all the other guys. But I don't know now. Oh, and there was something funny, because you had that Oslo workshop, yeah, and I had two places in Berlin. They're both Osloer Straße, Oslo Street, and I was actually, Osloer Straße is my home because I was raised in Osloer Straße 33. So that could be some kind of synchronicity.
Synchronicities are everywhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Swan Lake, this was here. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So what are you doing to release the anger? Anything? Can you even tap into it?
Yeah, I'll try. What? Have a suggestion?
Well, one of my favorite activities for people who want to get in touch with any emotion, you can do this on anything, not just anger, but for you should do it for anger, is to write these anger pages. And I don't want you to do it with the hand that you usually write with.
Okay.
So
With the left one then.
Okay, I'll explain. Yes, with the left. If you have grown up in a situation where a certain thing was not acceptable, especially an emotional state, like anger is not acceptable in his world growing up. Now think about your own childhood, because for some of us, happiness was not acceptable to the parents, because maybe they were unhappy, and when we were happy, it made them more unhappy. Maybe it's sadness that's not acceptable. Yeah, I'm looking at you guys a long time, because most of you in the audience actually have that one. It's not acceptable to be upset, sad, unhappy. So when you suppress that emotion in order to be accepted in your family of origin, you have an awesome opportunity as an adult. That's this. The hand you dominantly write with is the one that's linked to your conscious mind. The one you don't write with, usually, is linked to your subconscious mind. So if you want to really get the emotions out, the true emotions that are suppressed within you, you want to use the hand you don't usually write with. So what I want you to do is to sit down and, you can trigger yourself for this if you'd like to. So this is how I would trigger myself. If I was wanting to get really angry about my past, I would maybe think of memories that made me angry. Or else I would go take out my pictures of myself as a little kid, and I would say, think about my parent treating that kid, that little kid in that picture, badly. Depends on what I want to get mad about, right?
So I...
Trigger yourself.
And then I would just start writing. Oh, you can use current anger also. So let's say that you're reading, hopefully none of you are reading the newspapers, but let's just say that you slip up and read the newspaper and you read something that makes you really, really mad. You can even use that. And what you'll find is when you start writing about that thing in the newspaper you're pissed about, suddenly it'll shift and you'll be writing about something totally unrelated, but it is related, about your past. And I just want you to scribble, scribble it. So mad, just get it out, everything you think, do not be nice, okay? And then after you're done with that, you go find a safe place and burn it.
Okay.
That's one way you could do it. But we want to start getting the anger moving. And then we can start accessing the fear underneath the anger. Because there always is fear underneath anger, every single time.
Okay. Good.
But I really want you to do the liver cleanses.
Yes, I will. Good. Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah. I don't know.
That was so
It's
easy.
just, could be easy.
Good, that was a good reminder for me. I like that. I needed that.
Yeah, I mean, I love you so much. It's so, there was one video I put German subtitles on. It's about self-worth. That was, as I was doing it, I did some of that suggestions you did to really make that scavenger hunt of having good memories. In German, it's Schnitzeljagd. I had to find out. So really, to really get to your positive emotions somewhere in your day-to-day life, and now I lost my
I got good
point.
news for you. Want to know what it is?
No.
Yes. Yes, you want to know what it is.
Yes, I do. I don't know what it is, but I do want to know. Yes.
Okay. So I just wrote this book. Many of you who follow my stuff know that in May 12th.
Yeah, it comes on my Kindle.
Okay, good. Well, good that you read English, but I have an even better surprise for you.
Okay.
The foreign rights just got picked up by Germany, and so it's going to be in German.
I would love to. I'm a translator.
And it's all about self-love.
Yes.
So if you think that video is good, get ready.
Awesome.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good, then rather than talk your ear off for the next hour and a half, I'll just let you read that.
You came into my dream,
I
and
did.
you told me 3 times to translate.
Yes.
You did.
I'm persistent. What can I say?
You're good. You're amazing.
I'm not just going to be teaching you during the daytime. Be careful what you look for. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Pink shirt. 1, 2, 3, 4th row. Yes. Hello. No. Hi.
I would like to know why I cannot take care of myself in the aspect of finances, because I was married for 25 years and I didn't have to take care of money. In fact, I didn't want to take care of money. I hated money because in my family it was something dirty. And when I divorced, my ex-husband, we have dispute after more than 15 years, and I taking all different kinds of seminars and reading books over 10 years, and I cannot see any result of it. So I don't know what to do to proceed somehow, because I do my best, and
That's going to be an issue because you don't want to still. So if you're going to be honest, like really honest, you know how I was talking about that honesty where it's like painful honesty? You still don't want to deal with money. You think you have to deal with money. That's the reality. See the difference?
yes.
So if the universe cares about expansion and cares about what you want, and the real message from your inner being is, I don't want to deal with money, then why would it be working?
It can't. And is there any reason why I don't want? Because I need them. I want to travel. I want to.
It's okay to want all of those things and not want to deal with the money. Did that ever occur to you?
It's unbelievable.
We are always limited by our own beliefs. I want you to think about that relative to yourselves especially. But even if you're telling yourself the story, I am not going to be in a place where I can not care about money because I have to care about money. That's not the way the universe sees this. It's a limitation.
So the essence of it is just I want to buy books, I want to travel.
You want to be provided for.
Sorry, I want to?
Be provided for.
Yes.
So manifest that. You've been dividing your energy because only the inner part of you has been saying, I want to be provided for. You know, the rest of you has been saying, but I've got to make the money. I've got to create it somehow, and I've got to do it myself. And the heart's going, why would you do that? You don't want that. Your mind's saying, yes, I do. Your heart's saying, no, you really don't. Yes, I do. No, you really don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. See, so it's that. So what I want you to do is to join yourself. And I would rather your mind join your heart, because good luck convincing your heart to want something else. I have never found a way to help somebody do that. It's not possible. I'm not going to be able to teach you to want that. So this is what happens. If all of you aligns with wanting to be provided for, it must occur. It's a universal law. It's like tuning your dial.
So if it doesn't happen,
It must.
so if it
No, I'm literally
does,
telling you, universal law. It must. I know you're having a hard time believing that, so I'm not just asking you to believe it, but it must. You can't be in a frequency and have nothing mirror. Do you understand that that's the way this whole universe is working? If you are in a frequency where you're like, I'm going to be provided for. This is the feeling of being provided for. This is what it looks like to me to be provided for. You are emitting a signal. That signal must be matched. The law of attraction is like the law of mirroring.
yes,
So what you're saying is, what if I step in front of a mirror and I don't see my reflection? How is that possible?
not possible.
No. You don't know yet the ways that this could work.
But mentally, I'm studying mirroring. I use mirroring every day,
But do you use it on the right things?
not in the right things.
No, you're not using it on the right things, because right now you're still focusing on trying to make that money yourself instead of trying to create a situation where you're provided for. See the difference?
Yes, yes,
I'm telling you, just get on board with what you already know.
yes,
Do you feel shame that you want to be provided for?
yes.
That's the real problem.
Because I don't deserve.
Why?
Because I didn't do anything for it.
Did you watch the stint I did earlier on earning?
I don't get you now.
Like earning, remember how we had that conversation with the woman who was on earlier about earning
Yes,
attention
yes,
or
yes,
earning
yes.
love?
Yes, but it was conditions in
I agree,
my
but I'm
family.
going to ask you a question. Do you have children?
Yes, too.
Okay, do they have to earn your love?
No.
If they had something they really wanted, let's say they wanted a toy, just really bad, I want this toy so bad, did they have to earn the toy?
No. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, if we could go back in time and undo that, would they have to earn it to deserve it? Look, I'll let you off the hook because you did what you were thinking was right at the time.
Yes.
At the time you thought, if I teach them to earn these things, then they will be good people.
Yes.
So if you did what you thought was right, You're a good person. It's fine. But if you could go back in time, knowing what belief would come out of that in their minds, you probably would have done it different. Yeah?
Yes.
So let's just go back to that reality. If you're a mother and you've got this precious child that really wants this thing, how much of you wants to give it to them and will? All of it.
Yes.
So why can't the universe feel that way about you? If you say, I want to win the lottery, why doesn't the universe say, I want you to too? In fact, it's very easy for me to do that for you. Here. Do you think it's hard for Source or God or whatever word you're using? Do you think it's hard for that perspective to create things like $1 million?
No.
So if it's not hard for it to create that, and it loves you just like you love your child, how could you not get it?
Because of my inner obstacles or something that
Well,
prevent me from...
yeah, but I want to shift your idea about this a little bit. This will benefit everybody. So you all, if you're aware of the law of attraction, you hear us say that you've got to match the frequency first before something comes into your reality, right? You can start to feel like it's never going to work. I'm always going to be in my way, and the universe is kind of conspiring against me. Why, if it loves me so much, will it not help me out with my vibration, right? Meaning that why is it that I can't just have a really crappy day and have God or Source just do everything right for me, right? Seems loving, right? This is why. You are an extension of Source energy. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like you are almost like a hand or a finger of God itself. So it doesn't differentiate between itself and you. That means you're a creator. That means when you say, I'm going to focus on this thing that will cause me to feel bad and manifest negative experiences, your higher aspect isn't going to disagree with you. It's going to see that as its own choice. So the empowering thing, from Source perspective, is free will. If you were to focus negatively towards money and I was just going to give you money, I would actually be doing more damage to you. Because it's like me saying, you can't do it, I'll do it for you. Ugh, that's not a good message. See? So do you want practices or?
Yes, if possible.
There's so much doubt. Let me think about this. If I was in your position, I would spend a good deal of time every day visualizing the feeling of being taken care of. I would be sending the message that this is what I really want. Now, before you get all panicked about just visualization, I have to tell you something. Just the fact that you are capable right now of admitting to the fact that you would rather be taken care of means you've gotten more on board with that creation. That means more of your consciousness energy is focused in the direction of being provided for instead of trying to be providing for yourself.
Yes.
So even that has shifted your frequency a bit. And like I said, if you shift your frequency, what happens? Life manifests different. So this is how it works, right? You just made that decision. You just admitted, I want to be taken care of. That's the reality for me. I'm going to create that for myself. And nobody disagrees with you. You're sitting in front of me. Don't you think I'd be the first person to tell you, no, you need to make your own money and I'll teach you how. I'm good at it. No, you're right to want that. Want it. It's fine. So I gave you permission. Does that feel good? Does it?
Yeah.
It feels good for me to give you permission for that?
No.
No, it
It's
should. It should feel good.
Maybe I don't get you. You
Does it
give
fe-
me permission for...
To want what you want.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. That's what it should feel like. It's okay to want what you want. If you want to be taken care of by someone, then get it. So that was step 1. Step 2 is I want you to be focusing on that feeling of being taken care of. That's the visualization I want you to do. Now, this is what will happen. There will be little opportunities that start popping up in your reality for that to happen. So maybe one day you'll be inspired to go play the lottery. Maybe one day you'll walk around a corner and it'll be like, oh my gosh, there's this fabulously wealthy guy that's totally in love with me and has no problem taking care of me. You don't know how that's going to come. But the point is, you're putting your order form in with the universe. You're saying, this is what I want. Now the universe gets to look around and say, oh, that's the closest match to that, and put it together.
Looks nice.
Yeah. That's how life is supposed to work. But you've been raised on this idea, a lot of you have. Oh my gosh, serious issue in the Iron Curse country. It makes me exhausted, actually, it does, I have to be honest. Like, I do these energy diagnoses on every city I go to. Big surprise, Prague has not changed since last time I came here. The dominant issue is this issue of like, I gotta be strong all the time. Everything is about hard work, right? So, this idea that everything is supposed to be hard work makes it so that the universe says, okay, everything does have to be hard work. But it's not true. It's really not. Frog in my throat. Does that feel doable?
Yes.
Were you hoping I'd just tell you how to make lots of money practically? But that's easy. Anyone can tell you that. Seriously. You could go to a financial expert and they could tell you how to make money. But that's not what you want. Make sense?
Yes.
I want you to have the freedom to want what you want. Oh yeah, and that's when I go off on my little tangent, ready? You can't unwant something that you want. So this has vast implication. Why? Because if some of you in the audience want to be millionaires, but you think it's not very spiritual, doesn't matter, does it? You have one option once you hatch a desire. Meaning once you give rise to a desire within yourself, you have one option, and that option is to achieve that desire. So here's the good news, right? If you give rise to a desire and then you line up with it, meaning that, let's say that my desire is to make $1 million, so I make $1 million. That's what the universe wants for you. Why? Because once you make that money, you will have more desires. That's the universal expansion. The universe is expanding through your preferences. So why does it benefit the universe for you to get what you want? Because that's the only way expansion can occur. Look at it this way. Let's say you got a guy that wants $1 million. I want to make $1 million. But he spends his life arguing with it or thinking, I'm not going to be able to do that or whatever, right? So he never quite makes $1 million. For the rest of this person's life, they're going to be stuck right here, wanting that thing. They're never going to get to the point where that becomes the new platform for further expansion. That's why the best thing you can do for somebody, swear to God, the best thing you can do for somebody is to help them line up with whatever they want. Because their perspective will shift the minute they get there. See, you're stuck right there, that's all. Just because you're not, you're letting yourself now. I just made you admit it in front of like how many hundreds of people. Yeah. You see? I made you admit it. So what I'm making you do is to come closer to your actual desire so that you get there finally. Yay!
Please,
I reiterate, if all of you right now, I want you to think about the thing you want the most in the world, okay? Just do it. It's a group exercise. Look at just that. Just thinking about what you guys want, just increase the frequency of the group like 12 notches. Okay, that thing that you got in your mind right now, you are meant to have it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter whether people think it's spiritual or not. That's meant to be yours. And you can't unwant it. So have fun lining up with that thing. Talk to me in however long it takes for you to get that thing. Hmm? No, it's not a wish of people. It's a wish of yours. And you could line up with it. So what she's asking basically is like, you could wish for something like, is a good question. You could wish for something like peace on earth, right? I want this to be a peaceful planet. And why wouldn't people just automatically wish that into existence and then create it? And I was, of course, had to stop her there because not everyone on this earth wants peace on earth. It's sad to admit, but it's absolutely true. Okay, we'll go with you, yeah. Yes. Can you guys do me a favor really quickly? Because this might be an interesting experience, yeah? You can stay here. I want both of you to come up here. Yeah, because you've got some questions which are like, they keep developing. And in order to answer those particular questions, we have to have a dialogue. Does that make sense? Do you guys feel brave enough to come mess with me? Let's do this. This will be exciting. I haven't done this before. This obviously applies to you somehow. We'll see. How fun. Blake, I don't know how I'm going to help you do this, but...
There's one here.
Hello.
I think just hold this. We'll try to get another one. Hello, hello.
You guys can just sit right here, and then you can pass it back and forth to each other.
Okay.
And we'll see how this applies to you.
19.
This is hurting me, by the way.
This one or this one?
I love that I just put two peace-loving people together in the same place. That fast. Of course, my odds are like, what, 80 to 80 in this room? This is going to be a good one. Everyone's curious. Everybody's really curious about what the hell's going on here.
Well,
Okay, for anybody who wasn't, I'll just speak to you for a second while Blake tries to figure this out. For anyone that wasn't a match to those questions, what I'm basically telling her is whatever you want to have happen is meant to happen. So the issue we've got going, which we need to clear up, is what happens if I want something that involves other people? Uh-oh. Now we're going to get in the free will versus meddling with other people's lives conversation, aren't we? Okay, go for it.
I don't know, it's like...
Is it working, Kookie?
Not
Blake, it's not working. Is yours working?
Hello?
Try that one. That one looks like it's on. Is it not on?
Hello?
Hello? No? Not working, are you? Maybe we can
We'll
start
just,
now.
we'll take this experience, right? We'll just take this moment to like calm down a bit. That'll be good. We can center our energy. Let's practice patience. This is really uneasy for me.
Hello, check.
Okay, hello.
And this, hello, yeah?
Yeah. Hello. Whoa. You're magic.
Oh,
Okay. Have fun. Okay, now let's get to it.
Okay, so I was kind of like, I don't know the answer to that. That if I want world peace and not many people want it, what is the, how to say it, like, thinking about the word, like, how can I, what's the solution, or what's the variable that's making it possible to change for me, even if not so many people want it?
Because there are multiple time-space realities. Do you want to know something? This is really going to be interesting. So this universe we are living in is only one of many, 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 many universes. And there are multidimensional realities on every universe. The very thing that you just asked me is the basis of the creation of brand new universes.
So is that like that every thought I create a new universe that merges with this universe?
You
Kind of.
yeah, you specifically, because your particular desires aren't really feasible through the collective at this particular time on planet Earth. Please tell me I didn't just answer it that fast.
I was just thinking, is it the same with if, for example, I know somebody that is doing spiritual practice, but it's maybe my problem, but I feel that she could do more, and I could do healing for her so that she will
Then do it.
feel to do more or be able to do more.
Yeah, so do the healing. And if she doesn't want to participate, you can do it by distance. Because what you're doing, so I want you to start thinking about yourself, almost like your whole world that revolves around you is an extension of you, right? So if you see some aspect that's in pain of you, she is you, and then you focus on that, you're not infringing on her reality because it's your reality. And if you get negative feedback from somebody, that means that there is something inside you that has got that negative frequency that needs to shift. Does that make sense?
But then where's the difference between when everything is part of me and then she, what's her part that she feels that
everything's a part of her too. This is the most difficult thing for minds to grasp, because your mind is not going to get this. It's not going to get this.
Yeah, I know.
Because
Still trying.
yeah, well, have fun with that tree. The human mind is designed for singularity. You have to experience a separate perspective in order to comprehend the collective oneness. So you're in deep trouble when you're trying to figure out from a mental space how this fits together. We could come up with a lot of similes. I can do that for you. It'll help you understand. Similes are like, I can help your brain to kind of comprehend it. But still everything will seem a dichotomy because the laws of reality on a higher dimensional reality are different than the laws in a physical reality. So the law in a physical reality is you are experiencing everything through a singular perspective. That means I'm not the same as you. Keep your crap to yourself. Now, on a higher reality, you and I are the exact same. No different. They fit together perfectly.
Yeah, I get it somehow that these higher laws have to be experienced on the deeper levels, not thought.
Yes.
Because
So
I can come up with a million concepts, but I still cannot get the whole into the concept. So.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job of it. You can keep thinking about that kind of stuff if you'd like to, but it's better for us to be able to hold dichotomy. We can do that. We can hold that we are simultaneously one whilst also being ourselves. Do you feel capable of holding that? This is what it looks like, ready? This will be kind of hard for your personality type, just a little bit, but it's because you want things to be very concrete. Do you know that? Because that's your safety. Your safety is I want things concrete. But what you have to do is develop the flexibility to know when it's going to benefit you, when it's self-loving, to take a oneness attitude, and when it's self-loving, to take a singular attitude. Self-love is the criteria. Does that make sense?
Could you say that again, please?
Yes. Okay. So, okay, how do I backtrack? Let me think. So what he's wondering basically is how to bring these two concepts, which are both true, together, which is that you are all one. But simultaneously over here, you are one singular being. Right? Seems like a total contradiction, but it's actually very complementary, kind of like the flavor salt with sugar. Those are nice flavors together, you know. So why do they go together? This is how they go together. They go together with self-love. When you are asking according to self-love, whether it's better in this moment, not a minute from now, this moment to be thinking in terms of a oneness, or this moment to be thinking in terms of separation, that should be the criteria. So I'll give you a practical example. Sitting in this situation right now, the perspective which is higher, which is oneness, is better for me. Because it means I can relate, I can go into you and I can relate to your perspective. Let's say that later tonight you want to go drinking at the bar. I don't want to go near alcohol right now. So for me, self-loving is singular perspective. What does Teal want? That's better for me right now. When we get into trouble is when we pick a perspective that doesn't serve us. That's how war starts. War starts, which is not real beneficial for us in the long run, as you know, when somebody takes a singular perspective when the oneness perspective would be much more beneficial. Now, conversely, people also get into trouble with the opposite thing. People with boundary issues have this problem a lot, where they don't know themselves enough. And they can't stick by what's good for themselves as a singularity enough that they just say, okay, you have your way because we're one and I'm just going to merge with you. You see? So we should be taking the perspective that benefits us for this minute.
Could I come back to my atomic bomb? Okay. No, since I'm more interested in money, that's maybe why I'm sitting here. But since we were talking about the limits of the capacity of manifesting things, and I was wondering, I don't know, may I ask you, do you worry about the humans playing around with atomic? My English is too bad. With the atomic bombs or chemistry. I'm wondering if, for example, I have the desire, this to make if I have the wish, the desire that me and other people could live in peace, and so that this playing around with atomic bombs should stop.
I think we should kill each other.
We should kill each other. Stop resisting and just doing it. Okay, got it.
I'm
but my question is, where is the limit? You say there is no limit to manifesting things.
There is no limit to manifesting things.
And this really seems unreachable to me, because I'm thinking,
Well, yeah.
okay, then I could manifest that atomic bombs stop existing. Okay, and how can I ever manifest this?
Quite easily. Like, that one is a really, really small order in the grand scheme of things.
But you're talking about the parallel universes now, or?
No, it doesn't even need to be a parallel universe. Like, okay, look at this. Let's go way, way back, before this time-space reality was created. There was a lot of different physical laws in that particular universe that didn't really serve us very much. Now, I could tell you on a spiritual level what those laws were, but if I tried to tell you with your concept of this earth, you wouldn't understand those laws. But even the law of attraction was someone's desire. Even gravity was someone's desire. So what was happening in that particular point in time was, in that time-space reality, it was not feasible through that space for gravity to exist. So what had to happen is another universe with a different law had to come into existence. And that's when you experience what's called a soul migration. So your soul would have gone there.
Yeah, I have an idea to that only limitation that to that what I can create is my own integration completion, or
You should be teaching. Yeah.
And I've learned that there's a difference in the ego wanting things, desiring, and the higher self. So I guess every ego would say, I want to manifest money, wealth, whatsoever. And that the higher self might say, well, nice try, but you first have to experience, as you did, for example, the contrary, the opposite of it. You're not done yet, so I send you into experiences where you're not healthy, and you don't have money, and you're not famous,
So you're
or whatever.
dealing with a vindictive God.
Excuse me?
Your God is vindictive.
Well, is there a separation between the higher self and the ego when it comes to desiring things? Because you said, I don't know, which part of me desires when I
Yes,
say
because the higher self knows more what you want than you do.
Yeah.
So that's why it goes good, though. Like, if you chase what you want, what you think you want, you will be led to what you want really.
Okay.
It's not going to mess with you. It's not going to say, I disagree with you. You don't really want money. But so many people think they want something when what they want is something else. And then they realize it. In 20 years, they're like, oh my God, this is what I always wanted. I just always thought it was that.
It again comes back to me to that level of integration. The more I'm integrated, the more I see.
Yeah.
The more I have the perspective of the higher self.
Yes. So it gets really easy at that point. Do you want to know where you're screwed?
Why I'm screwed? Yes.
Okay, when I look at your, that sounded so mean, but okay, when I look at your perspective about the things you want, very, very little of your energy is put towards what you want. It's put towards what you don't want.
Because that's what I know, and I don't know what I want.
Okay, this is going to apply to everyone, right? You are so much more concerned with not wanting nuclear weapons than you are concerned with wanting world peace. So much more concerned with that. Now, if you lived in another universe, I could take you there if you want to, but if you lived in the other universe that is based on the law of exclusion, which is the predecessor for this universe, then you can have it your way. Do you understand the law of exclusion? It means if I look at it, it's not coming to me. That's the predecessor for this time-space reality. We designed the law of attraction because we loved the idea of mirroring, things coming at you when you focus at them. Oh, that's a genius idea. That'll be better. Welcome to the whole life you're living now. So, you live in a time-space reality based on the law of attraction, which means that whatever you look at, you get. So it does not matter whether you look at something and say, I don't want it, or look at something and say, I want it. It's coming. So when you look at that nuclear weapon and you say, I don't want that in my reality anymore, it's going to come.
Okay, I get that, because it's pure resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you are the last person that we should have a conversation with about how to get rid of nuclear bombs.
Yes.
But if you can figure out what you really want and how to focus on that, then you'll find quite quickly that you can create anything.
That's what you said in one previous question, that when you focus on what you don't want, then you focus on the negative emotion of the not wanting, and then you get the negative emotion more. And if you focus on the positive what you want, then you get the positive result.
It's fairly simple, but it's not, is it?
But how is it for you? You're also living in this universe, and you see that there are atomic bombs. And what's your feeling about this?
I think we should kill each other.
Kill each other.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. Or if you
like
watch,
scaring
I
you
don't know,
guys.
if you like take anything, you watch the news and you see what's going on on planet Earth, and don't you have the wish to manifest the opposite? Like,
No, I have a party.
you have what?
I'm kidding. Okay, I gotta tell you guys a story. I swear to God, I'm gonna answer your question, but last time I came to Prague, there was this like big anti-Teal movement. People were like, this person is literally the devil, right? So now I have to tease you. I'm gonna tease you for the rest of my life. I have to. Teal's evil. I'm evil. I want people to die. No, I'm kidding. No, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like in my own life. You ready? I look at one of those newspaper articles about how people are blowing each other up, and I have a 20-minute rampage in my house. That's what it looks like. I'm just like you.
What's rampage, the meaning of
Before
war?
I vote, rampage is like really mad. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. I'll show you. I'll give you a preview of my house. No, this is before I remember what I know already and focus myself back into alignment. Okay, so I see that article. I drop the page. God damn it! I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know if I should keep going. I should quit my job. This isn't working. We're all going to hell. Oh my God. Maybe I should stockpile. That's what I should do. What should I do with my money? I do the same thing you do. No, I don't want this. This sucks. But this time came where I realized, like, I could either, this is my option. I either get to add my focus to the negative and spiral, or I get to add my focus to what I would rather see. So, like, this career that you are looking at on stage is quite literally my decision that I made. I was like, I had thought about it, and I was like, how do I want to contribute to the world I want to see? If I get famous for the stuff I'm already good at, then I can create this world where people meet each other, and they form intentional communities, and they create an alternative. And maybe it's peaceful. Oh, and then I'll invent a conflict resolution. Oh, yeah, see the inspiration?
And is it then you manifest, let's say you manifested the anti-Teal movement here in order to get you more inspired in what you are
Yeah, ultimately,
doing?
yeah.
Okay, got it.
But I also, I manifested it for a lot of different reasons. Also, I manifested it because I needed to see that I still have issues with Mormons. Isn't that funny? Isn't this interesting about mirroring? So here I am in a country that is like so many miles away from where I live. And the Czech people are, traditionally very atheist. But I have manifested the perfect mirror of the Mormons that I grew up with in my childhood, because they said the same thing that group says about me. that I'm evil, that I'm drawing satanic paintings. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So when it comes up in my face, it feels like crap. Why? Because it's telling me what's unhealed in me about my childhood. That's it. But it is giving me good inspiration, yeah. After a 20-minute rampage. But does that make sense? Yeah. You can create that kind of world. You can.
You have to heal first to have the power to create it.
Yes, but you don't have to heal completely. This is what's fun. The tiny bit you heal, to that degree, you create even better stuff. And that's how it goes.
And also the more you heal, the more better you are at healing the next part.
Yes. So before you get off stage, how did that apply to you?
I just feel that it is so simple. But just to imagine how I will pay my attention to things that I really want, and that's it.
And what do you really want? I'm going to make you admit it in front of everyone and loud this time.
And maybe start with small things, no? Not start with smaller things, no? Don't start with the bigger things that you cannot feel into, but start with smaller things.
Yeah,
no?
that's really good advice. That's super good advice. And if you see her like on a
That's
one-on-one
for you,
basis,
actually.
you should definitely do that. But I'm going to make her be honest right now. Ready?
I didn't.
I'm going to make her be honest. What do you want?
First of all, I want to my physical health, because over 2 years I cannot hear properly and doctors cannot help me.
That's fine. Everybody's okay with that desire. What desire are you not okay with wanting that we just had a whole conversation about? I want to feel,
I want to I want to feel safe with money. I want to feel that I have money enough for everything.
yeah, that's a good one, but how do you want that money to come to you? Do you want to just work yourself to death for that money?
No.
What do you want to do for it?
To imagine, to ask, to pray.
Okay, you ready to repeat after me? I'm going to make you repeat after me now. I want to be provided for.
I want to be provided for. Yes.
That's it. Because it makes you feel good and it makes you feel loved and all kinds of stuff, and that's fine. So that's what you really want. So focus on that. And if I just told her that she can manifest whatever kind of reality she wants, even if it's absent of bombs, I'm pretty sure that's not so much of a tall order for the universe. You know? Do you see? That's why. I'm sorry. I'm doing your job for you. That's why you were a match to this. Think about God or Source. If it's fine for her to manifest a peaceful universe, I mean, no bombs.
And money?
Do you think it might be easy to bring you a provider?
Yes.
That's like a kid saying, oh my gosh, Mom, Dad, I really need something. I need something more than anything in the world. I swear to God, this would be so amazing, but I know it's going to be hard. I need a penny. Or what's your smallest coin here?
Wait, what do you mean?
The smallest coin in the Czech Republic. What is it?
Oh,
The crown. I need 1 crown. And the parents are like, oh my gosh, you selfish kid. That is too hard. You see?
Yes.
Oh, good. Then we're good. Okay, you guys can go back to your seats. I want hugs from you guys too. Thank you. Okay. That was fun. I was prepping myself for like a serious challenge, though. That was an easy question. Okay. You know what? Blue shirt, third row.
All right. Cool. Hey guys.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hey there. Yeah, my heart is really, pumping. Wow. Is this for all of you, or just my nervousness? Oh, hands buzzing. Okay. What else? Okay, Teal, I'm sorry. I don't want to hold you up for too long. Just want to get present a little bit, so that I am able to speak more clearly. Okay. So, what I wanted to share and debate with you today.
Debate?
Yeah,
You want to debate with me?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. Oh.
Bring it.
Bring it. Yeah,
We like a competition in America.
Not in that way, just, dance a little. So I noticed, I've been dancing about this with Zach as well, Moyer, and he kind of brought to the light that I am actually addicted to other people's beliefs, So I changed my beliefs a lot, like 180 degree to probably majority of people who leech on to their beliefs. I have a mechanism I created, that I leech on, and I could, I'm exaggerating a bit, but wake up every morning with a different passion, different belief, different, story. And actually what I see, and I would like to uncover who else better than you, to uncover the reason for another thing, and that is the fact that for me, other people's experience about me is more important than my experience in the moment,
Do you want me to tell you? I can tell you in 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
It's exactly what we were talking about this morning. You experience extreme emotional neglect.
Yeah.
Now, as a result, I got to explain how this whole thing fits together, because trust me, you're just going to be cool. Ready?
Yeah.
The type of emotional neglect that you experienced in childhood was absent of mirroring.
Okay.
I knew this was going to come up today. Okay, so I'm going to. Do you guys? Some of you might be familiar with the parenting technique, which really isn't a technique; it's a need of children, called mirroring. Mirroring looks like this: you're a little kid, you come in, you're upset, and you start crying. I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
Okay, ready for mirroring? Oh, you're sad? I just mirrored. That's what I just did. Now, what that does is it validates that that's the truth of him. Now, what did most parents do who didn't understand how to mirror? Do it again.
I'm so sad. I'm sad.
Yeah, but you're the one that just took the toy away, so how can you be sad?
Yeah, you're right. Would be my untrained answer.
Exactly, but what did I just teach you? I just taught you that what's in you isn't there.
Oh, yeah.
What I just taught him is that what's inside him isn't there. It literally doesn't exist. It's not valid. So what happens within the child is a huge identity crisis.
Oh, yeah.
This is the birth of the feeling of emptiness. So what you find is the child is stunted. So what I'm looking at with you is you are in an adult body, but on an emotional level you are stunted in childhood, where the point at which you should have been developing an identity separate from your mom and dad, even though they probably meant really well by it, you did not have an identity.
Yeah.
So you learned to be a chameleon.
Yeah.
That was how you coped. Some of us, we don't become chameleons.
But I'm not good at it.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah.
But just for your guys' information,
You know.
some people, when they experience this lack of mirroring in childhood, that lack of validation for who we are and how we feel, right? We literally just become like black holes. We have no sense of identity inside. And so some people will try to conceal that. We're the ones that are at risk for suicide more so than anything else. Then there are people like you, which, congratulations, you coped very well. That's actually a much healthier thing to do, is to say, I'm going to just become whatever that person tells me that I am so I can have any kind of identity. But that's a problem when you grow up, because now your identity is his identity when you're with him, and his identity when you're with him, and this identity when you're with me.
Do you know that's, like a Facebook meme, or, you are the average of 5 people you spend the most time with?
It's very true for you.
That's that's like literally true for me, I found. So
you are going through an identity crisis as an adult that you should have had and moved through when you were about 2.
All right. Yeah, so I have this feeling here that feels like a scar, like a cut. And is this the emptiness you've been talking about? The black holeness?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, because I had some things about black holes.
Well, we always find what we resonate with.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact is that every person, I could show in my phone, I created this note, SOE questions or something, and I've been putting in stuff for the past month. I've been on this journey in Spain, and every time I raised my arm, I kind of knew that I will be at the end, because after the first maybe 2-3 persons, everybody had exactly what I had written, like the liver problem, anger, suppression, check, lead poisoning, check. The younger guy who I met in the lobby, the traveler, I don't care, freedom to the max, check. So everybody that was here, I could see like a part of that perspective experience. So for me, it's obviously really hard to know what I want, because I could lose that really quickly, that feeling of wanting that, and really like, okay, it's not constant, it's not.
It's not constant yet, what you want, because you haven't been consistent about dealing with the wound first.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I've been doing the alarm emotional practice for quite a while now.
And how's it going?
It's going well. Actually, twice, in the middle of workshop, I did it because it rang. So I quite have trained myself to not care where I am and, what other people think. Kind of find approval of that. But yeah, I do believe it's time for me to now to go into my inner child work and to put on the snorkeling and dive deep.
That's how you find out who you really are.
Yeah.
See, if you lost yourself in childhood, meaning you didn't get to figure out who you really were, we go back to childhood to do that.
Because I tried to do, the emotional healing process, but it didn't go through. I would
Why?
get lost in my mind. I got exhausted.
I could have pushed you there.
Yeah.
Exhaustion is what you should have gone into.
Yeah, I can see that how that could go, but my body was also falling apart with the lead thing, and that was a huge source of frustration for me as well. For the last year, I couldn't do anything without feeling like there were shrapnels in my muscles and stuff like that, I just got inspired into this body embodiment movement and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this is clearly something I want, freedom in that department, and frustration. I also have another interesting feeling I found, and that is that I am in the way of people. Like I feel like I'm, making everybody feel uncomfortable and like there for no reason, or just in the way, just like that's what I feel.
Is that true of your childhood experience?
Probably, and also probably for my brother and sister. They were kind of raising me, my sister is 15 years older than me, so she was like a second mom. And when I turned into my teens, she kind of reacted strongly to that, and I kind of didn't exist anymore. So it was like from this to, and now she's turned into this, black hole is a good word, maybe. Emotional black hole, where she just kind of sucks in all the things and then she throws them into your head. So there's where the toxicity got into me, in my family, or me being there while I should be on the road with people.
True. Here, let me explain something to everybody. There's a reason why we are so interested in focusing on the aspects of our childhood experience that really didn't go well. It's not so that we can dive into like how victimized we are, and it's not so we become powerless. It's so we can become aware of the contrast we opted into. So you chose your parents on purpose. I don't expect most of you to remember that. But if you can open your mind to the possibility that you chose these specific parents, these specific conditions, these specific astrological alignments, specifically so that you could use those kind of like cards. Do you guys have Texas Hold'em where you're from?
Yeah. I mean, like...
I love it. Poker, right?
Yeah.
Let's pretend that life is like a game of poker, and you chose into a very specific hand of cards because you wanted to play that hand. So if you become conscious of the hand you played, then it becomes much easier for you to decide what it is you intended for this life. Sort of like I know what I didn't want, I know what didn't feel good, so that tells me what I had intended for myself to the opposite side of that. It's almost like if you're sitting in non-physical perspective, and from that perspective you say, I want to know true freedom. What are you going to do? Are you going to come down into a family that's got tons of money and everything's set up for you and everything feels good? Are you going to really know what freedom is? How many of you have hung around with someone super, super rich? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, my family was
provided.
Okay,
let me ask you a question. Do you guys know about abundance?
Actually, it wasn't my abundance. It was...
It's a trick question. I'm setting you up. I know the answer. The answer is hell no. People who have freedom do not know freedom. People who have tons of abundance to begin with do not know abundance. You cannot come into freedom from a space of freedom. You must come into it from a space of imprisonment to understand freedom for what it is. So no soul is going to opt into wanting to understand freedom from a space of freedom. It's going to be like, oh, let's go to Rwanda. Let's go in as a girl. Yeah, and let's go into a dad that doesn't want me to be born.
Pretty dark. Cool.
But look at your own life relative to what I just said.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think my contrast is? Because that's the first teaching I got from you 2 years ago, which really helped me to survive the next 2 months. The contrast, you know, yeah. What?
Authenticity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I really actually think that's what it is.
Yeah, me too. I think yeah.
I think you opted into a life for yourself as a child. Because let's face it, if you opt into it as a child, you've got the ball rolling. It's like diving in head first to exactly what you intended for this life. So you opted into a place that didn't validate you. You had no idea who you were, or you had no mirroring. Why? Because you have to find yourself if that's the case. Yeah. And if you have to find yourself, then you are the person who will understand authenticity. And then you're the person who can teach it.
Yeah.
And then that's expansion for everyone.
Yeah. I just, one of the things I would do in my unauthentic perspective for 21 years, so I'm pretty good at it, is a concept called always already listening, which is to have a conversation before it really happens, all the time. And I've had this with you in the last month, probably, 10 million times, of course, coming here, and last year the same.
Why is that bad? You manifested me on stage. See, you could call it what you just called it, which is more like a disorder.
Yeah.
Or you could see it as, I just created my reality, and my brain works this way because it was always meant to work this way, where I first created it in my mind, and then it became reality. And now you're sitting on stage having a conversation with me, and most of the people in the audience are thinking, well done.
I'm a powerful creator. All right. No, I just, that was one of the images I had. Okay, I'm gonna be on last or at the end.
Why are you obsessed with finding out what's wrong with you? Someone's talking to you.
Because, I don't want to be alone. I want to be with people.
So you think you have to figure out what's wrong so you can fix it so people will want to be with you?
Yeah, I think.
What if that's not what you ever wanted? What if what you wanted all along was for somebody to say, look, I don't care whether this is ski-wampered about you or not okay. It's okay to me. I don't want you to get perfect to earn love. That's torture. Do you see that? That's conditional love. You don't want that.
Yeah, for myself.
You never wanted conditional love.
Yeah.
You wanted unconditional love. You wanted somebody to say, I don't care whether you think about things before they happen. I don't care whether you pee in the sink. I love you.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's authenticity. You can't, by the way, I'll give you a little hint. You can't come in with the purpose of finding authenticity without simultaneously coming in with the desire to be loved for that authenticity. Which I would dare say is more your problem right now.
Yeah, again, it's the other experience of me, That was like when I woke up today, I just, kind of sat there. I did a resistance meditation. I find it quite...
I love that one too.
It's kind of the basis of movement practice that I do. Great stuff. So,
why don't you explain that to people quickly? Because...
Yeah. Okay, so the release resistance meditation that Teal has on YouTube as well. check it out. You know, it's a great tool to kind of maybe in the morning or to release resistance to anything you're expecting, or maybe you know, just to life or to the future or anything you want, and just kind of let your body wobble, but not by your movement, but you know, kind of a Bruce Lee theory.
I'll explain.
I
So
don't hit. Yeah. Okay.
As we're sitting here in the room, no, I just really like talking.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so see, this is my authenticity.
Yeah.
I can be loved if I like to be if I like to be talking.
I wanted to share this one actually.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just, you know.
Then do it. See, that was your authenticity.
Yeah.
So now we're having a dance because you like talking and so do I. So which one's going to win?
Yeah, I just think that, you know, the meditation is about.
He's winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Letting your natural movement to occur.
Yes.
So Bruce Lee would say, "I don't hit, it hits." You know. So that's kind of a thing. So, but here you're not hitting, you're releasing and letting go to the energy around you.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. When you guys are sitting in the room, like you're just sitting right now, what you're unaware of is that the air in the space around you is moving a lot more like water. So there's all kinds of patterns, and you've trained your body to resist those patterns. So when I'm standing right here in front of you, I will look like I'm sitting still. But if I was to close my eyes right now and to just let my body go with however the movement in the room is, just sort of like letting the water of the air push me around in whatever current it's flowing, you would start to see my body move. See how it's starting to move? So in the meditation that I teach people, this resistance meditation, I teach them to literally just release that resistance. Stop holding against the patterns of the energy in whatever space you're in, and to let it move your body kind of like a current in the ocean. And it's a really good one. So you can, that one's also on YouTube, my personal favorite portal for sharing information.
Yeah. I just found it really good. And what I did was to release resistance and also to like ask for guidance to this event to be my experience, so that I can experience you, not just the idea of you and the idea of how I should be and how things should be done and what I should act like as volunteer and so on. So, you know, I have a 20-year-old long practice of doing the opposite, so my brain is pretty trained. But
so look at me. You're doing everything right.
Yeah,
that was good. You even came back to me. You're way farther along vibrationally than you think you are. Way, way farther along.
In which direction? I mean, well,
in the direction of everything you want.
Okay, I getcha. What would you say is my vibration to money and that kind of stuff? I'm just curious, really. I want to know because
You still think it means pain?
And I found out that to be successful means pain and isolation. I found that one out.
So why would you ever want to manifest money?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that there was a, quote, an idea that's not really tangible, but to have access is far better than to have ownership. So intentional communities. And I really get the buzzing when I hear that, and I think my way is in that direction.
You're right.
As well.
You're right.
And yeah, but there is a fear in me present right now. As I've said, I've been on this journey to Spain, to the way of St. James and the Camino, more known as Camino de Santiago. And there I had all this, real life realizations and like real fucking experiences, I call them, for once in my life. RFE, yeah, and I got just so excited by sharing this. I forgot what I was saying.
Well, that just gave all of us an opportunity to watch what the emotional guidance system should feel like and look like. That was your yes. That was your north.
Yeah.
Your compass was like, yes, this is what yes looks like. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. That was so exciting. Buzzing. Yeah.
I got it back.
I wish that on every one of you. Hocus pocus. No, I'm kidding. I'm so manipulative.
Okay, so but I still have a lot of fear on going back to Slovenia, because I still feel I cannot rely on myself around certain people, like my family.
Do you want to go back there, first of all? Because when you just said that word, everything in you was like, don't go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to avoid it, like resist it.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Like, for you to go back there is self-punishment. Do you feel that?
Yeah,
You don't need to punish yourself all the time. You've still got this vibration kind of where you want to punish yourself. You want to go in the direction of things that don't feel good to you because you think it's going to be good for you. Sometimes that's good for you, right? Because it's doing inner child work and it's nice, but sometimes it's literally just you punishing yourself. That's just punishing yourself. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's why I want to talk with you about it, because I would like to differentiate whether it's a resistance vibration or, just uncomfortable and just something I have to go.
You want me to tell you? It's very quick.
Yeah, please.
Okay. If you want to do something and you have resistance to doing that thing, that's a good idea for you to go in the direction of. But if you don't want to do something and you also have a lot of resistance to it, don't do it.
Okay. I mean, there's not just, bad stuff there. I have some things that I want.
Why are you trying to talk yourself into it?
Because I'm not sure what's here for me, what's waiting here for me. I'm.
Do you have to be sure? Or can you just be sure of what you don't want to do?
No, if I learned one thing on the Camino is that every move is the right move.
Yes.
Just move.
Yes.
And it's...
What we are clear on right now is one thing, and that's that move is not the one to take. It doesn't matter whether the rest of this is clear. We're at least clear about that. Everything in you melts when you mention going back there. So your compass is working. Your emotional guidance system is working. It's saying, don't go there with a 10-foot pole. So don't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
That means don't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
For those of you that, I'm sorry. Some of these sayings are difficult to convey in different languages.
We have the same one.
What is it?
Imagined.
You have the same one, a 10-foot pole?
Yeah, it's only 7-meter pole, but yeah.
Oh.
Well,
yeah, we're America. We get to be special. I don't understand metric anything.
Yeah. You got bigger containers, extra at the same price, kind of stuff. Oh, good times. Yeah. I must say this is a really good experience right now, all sorts of stuff. For me, to being on stage with you is a great experience to have. Okay, before I had an expansion of that thought. I wanted to join you on stage when there were two, but then I kind of didn't. So, if there's peace, is there less expansion in peace? Because conflicts are needed.
Yes, which is why it's highly unlikely for us to create peace from any space that we're at currently, because we're in so much resistance to expansion because of the pain of it. But what you will notice when people no longer have resistance to the conflict is they will find peace and much less expansion will occur because there will be no need.
Okay. Yeah, because I had this like thought development about Earth consciousness and, you know, we as humans being the part of Earth consciousness that is the most progressive, you know, apart from other.
Cetaceans are in fact the highest, and fungus.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. Well, actually, extraterrestrial species will probably talk to you because of that, but if you wanted to make a judgment based on this planet about what the most intelligent species is, it's fungus. Because of the way it organizes itself with other members of its own community.
Yeah, it was just a thought that, you know, we as the most progressive, not the most, but, you know, I thought
we as
that
the most egotistical species that exists.
Yeah, like...
we are brilliant. Humans are brilliant, but definitely not the most intelligent. Definitely not the most progressive.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know about that, so thank you for sharing that. No, just like...
I'll give you another assignment. Do a meditation. Well, with fungus, you can go look for mushrooms in the forest. Do a meditation with them.
I got a fungi infection a week ago on my genitals. Yeah, just where it is. I cannot help that. So
I love that authenticity. That was the best moment ever.
Yeah, you know.
That was so liberating.
And that was one of the questions. How did I become attached to that? You know, because for the last 2 months I've been having this, you know, like no sexual desire at all. And given that I've broken up with my, girlfriend two months ago, now ex-girlfriend, who I still care about really much.
You had vacated that aspect of your body.
Yeah, I kind of, I was scared, okay, now, no sexual...
Yeah, so if you vacate something, then there's an open space for another being to move in. That's the highest, actually viruses, this is always the case with viruses, and fungus is pretty similar, where it's like if you abandon yourself or you jump out of some aspect of yourself, say you go to work when you should have stayed home, that's like you're vacating yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so what happens when the room is vacated? Another species or organism that's looking for a place to be moves in. And then we go, why was I a match to that? Because you vacated. You left yourself. You abandoned that aspect of your life.
Yeah. I find that to be the same with addiction. So wherever you're not present with yourself, there the addiction comes in, or another species, or some kind of a thing. So yeah, okay, I can see that. I just wanted to know because, I couldn't tell whether it's because of the creation energy is flowing in elsewhere, and I just don't have that interest, to do any kind of practice that's in that way, self-practice or something else, to learn to be better with my sexual energy. Because that's what I'm interested in as well.
You need to learn how to channel your sexual energy. Now, both males and females need to learn how to channel sexual energy, but by far and away, if I had to vote, it would be men that have to learn how to channel their sexual energies.
Yeah.
So much of your basic power as a man is going to come from those areas of your body. That's just how you're designed. So if you're not, having sex with everyone, hopefully, then what you can learn to do is to take that energy and put it into creations. That would be the best manifestation for you currently if you don't want to directly be having sex. You can say, I'm going to challenge the sexual kundalini energy into my meditation. I'm going to channel it into creating intentional community. That's vital force energy you can use to your advantage.
I did use it for my freedom exploration in Spain,
And did it work?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, my energy is going here, so I have no needs, sexual needs right now because of that. For a month, and then I was like, okay, and it's just a couple of questions in one, A, B, C, D, Z. So, so yeah, what about the fungi meditation?
Yeah.
You wanted to?
Yeah, I want you to go sit with it. Sit with fungus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I broke you off. I didn't get what the meditation. So to go in nature to find some.
Yeah, go in nature, find some. One of my favorites is, they call it a conch, and it's very hard and dense, and it grows on trees. And that is one of the highest, most intelligent forms of life on the planet. So it's really fun to sit and connect with them.
Just making a note. Yeah. Just making a note. So.
See, because like the human species has a difficult time with the idea of intelligent life not having an audible language and things like this. But if you're able to do any of these kinds of meditations yet, which some of you are definitely at the advanced phase enough where you could do that, you can connect yourself on a heart-based level to it and experience what it is like to live as that particular species. It will be quite interesting for you. What you will find is there is not one fungus on the face of this earth that is not connected to every other.
Agreed.
Enormous one. They balance energies like crazy. And they know where you are. Like, this is another thing that they're going to find. If you step into a forest and you're 20 miles away from a mushroom, that mushroom knows you're in the forest. That'll be some scientific experiments. I'm like, here you go, forecast, your future forecast for this planet is, science is about to show you proof of this, that when we are monitoring the electrical current occurring within a fungus, that when there is any subtle shift to the environment, even miles and miles around this particular mushroom or fungus, you will see a reactivity within the fungus.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Yeah, I think we have the audacity to call ourselves humans, to be the most,
I know.
I get quite a frustration about that I developed, because reading your blogs, and these were the blogs that I read into most intensely about your experiences. Yeah, that's another thing about me. I'm really into advanced stuff really quickly, like skipping steps, and then my foundation gets weak. That's why my knees are all over the place. Could you see? Can you see? Maybe, like, real quick, like your medical.
Yes, but what do you want me to see?
Yeah, they kind of click in every direction, and.
That's because it's too much flexibility of thought. That's just the thing. Is the exact manifestation of what you were saying when you stepped on stage. It's that you just haven't found you yet.
And it does get better when I do find a glimpse.
See, so you already know.
Yeah, and I'm not like that, but
Kay, there's a message that you need to receive, Kay.
Yeah.
You're not messed up. You are not messed up. You are very focused on what's wrong with you, but from my perspective, and you've seen me do it today. You've seen me tell people, like, this has got to change, like you're going to get into trouble with this one big time. I'm not saying that to you, which means you think you're a lot more messed up than you are. So what would your life look like if nothing was wrong with you?
Joy.
I want you guys to ask yourself this question too. I mean, so many people in this audience are in the same position.
Laughter.
Laughter would be left. Then that's your prescription pill for the day. How are you going to find laughter?
Everywhere, I mean.
Didn't have to look real hard for that. There you go then.
That's a really authentic laugh.
Laughter is the answer for you. Now you ready for this? I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah.
That's all you're getting. I'm not going to tell you anymore.
Yeah.
Because nothing's wrong. And you're just going to find laughter. And you're not going to go back. Sound good?
Yeah, I really don't want to.
Don't do it. Then don't do it.
Yeah,
Pretend it's not an option.
Hmm.
I mean, really, you can take a hint from people whose families are dead. I'm serious though. It's like if we have families that literally don't exist, then it literally is not an option to go home. So if we were in your position, what the hell would we do? That's what you got to do.
trust myself and just move.
Well, it's easier said than done, but
Yeah.
I don't need you to trust yourself immediately. Okay? That's going to be a lifelong process for most of us.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
That probably won't be so hard, you know. I have a lot of practice in just don't doing it. Stuff like
Do
avoiding.
you see, though, how
stuff.
it's possible for you to say that's not an option? Like it literally doesn't exist. You can do that mentally. It's not an option.
It's not an option. I'm not going to suffer. I'm not going back to that glued up reality. You know. I found a perfect metaphor for my parents' support of me. It's like having glue on me, which creates a safeness, you know, a layer of safeness. But for me, it's to move in any direction is impossible. And when I share this kind of stuff, it feels like funny for me to share. So yeah, as you see, there's a lot of stuff, but
No.
you really think that there's
There's not
so
a
much.
lot of stuff.
You think that this is an avoidance mechanism?
Yes?
That I'm just creating stuff so that,
Well,
that I
no,
don't have
you
to?
believed that something was fatally wrong with you because you didn't get the love you needed when you were young. That's the thing with emotional neglect. You will be you're not going to blame your parents. Seriously, what are you going to do at 6 months old? Mom and dad are not mirroring for me. Mom and dad are not really giving me the nurturing I need or the comforting I need. They're messed up. No, these are the gods of your reality at that age. You're going to be like, there is something wrong with me. That's the birth of what I call the fatal flaw. It's this belief that in you is something absolutely unlovable or something, in your case, messed up and wrong with me. And if I don't fix it, I'm never going to get love. It's because you can't put the blame where the blame actually belongs. Our consciousness is not very fragile when we come in.
As babies?
Yeah. Yes, because we're creators. It happens at a young age because we are eternal creators, and no child forgets that fact. That's why the 1-year-old is the best at ignoring you. How many of you have had kids? You know it. The 1-year-old is like, I don't want to look at that, because it knows that it creates its reality still. But what's going to happen? The parent's going to give it enough crap in the first 2 years that it finally goes, fine, I'm looking. And then that starts the cycle.
Yeah. It's having, I mean, he or she is having his own experience
Yes.
or hers. It
Yes,
doesn't
but
matter.
as adults, we have an issue. As adults, we like to tell the story. It's so precious that it can't possibly be an eternal creator. Like, the reality is, you have no idea if that kid that you just gave birth to has 1,000 more lives than you.
Yeah. All right. So, nothing is wrong.
Nothing's wrong with you.
Just go. And would you suggest that I do the approval, finding approval for?
If you want.
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah, we'll see.
You're okay. Look, you're okay. It's okay.
I don't really believe that, you know.
No, you don't believe it at all.
Yeah.
That's why I'm making you look me in the face. I had to fly from America to tell you it's okay. That's a waste of a trip if something really is genuinely wrong with you.
Okay, we can do this together. You know, you don't have to call yourself Peter. It's okay for me to be Peter.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Yeah. So go laugh. Go laugh.
All right.
Where's Blakey? Somebody told me that was the last one. Where's Blake? Oh, you're right. Yep, you come up. What's going on now? Blake told me that I had one more. So
Okay,
that was one more.
so
now,
if there's one more.
do you want me to do one more?
No, I think like we are just enough. Like this was the last one.
Okay.
So, but I'm just, I just came because
You have to give an announcement?
Yeah.
Do you want me to talk first, or you talk first, or which one?
Yeah, I'll just have to calm down.
Okay, you talk first, and then I'll think about what I want to say to everyone.
Okay, so budem hovoriť asi anglicky. Well, you can, whatever.
Oh wait, I want to hear what you say. That's cool.
Okay.
Usually I don't get to spy on his talking.
Tak slovenčina tu ešte asi nezaznela. Tak uvedem slovenský, neviem, nesledoval som to od začiatku. Takže... OK.
I'm waiting.
Ja, to, že vlastne... Say again? Pardon? Tak v prvom rade by som sa chcel veľmi rád poďakovať vlastne všetkým vám, ktorí sem prišli, pretože bez nich, bez vás by sme tu nemali Teal, ktorá síce Prahu miluje ako najviac zo všetkých miest, ale v prvom rade ste vlastne vy fanúšikovia, ktorí jej dávate vlastne energiu a motiváciu pokračovať v tom, čo robí. Aspoň teda ja to tak vnímam. Takže ďaká vám všetkým a...
He's right.
A takisto ďakujem Teal, že nás prišla znovu pozrieť po 2 rokoch a ja som si napriek počiatočným takým organizačným chybám dúfam, že ste si to užili a vám to prinieslo tú hodnotu workshopu, čo to malo priniesť. Takže ak by ste mali prípadné dotazy alebo sťažnosti, tak potom smerovať na mňa. Nie na Teal. Takže ďakujem vám a ďakujem Teal.
Do you have more to say, or do you want me to talk?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I'll take that out of my ear because I'm so busy listening to it. This is a pretty language. What I want to finish with is...
May I pause just into... I didn't understand it, so can you shortly say what you told?
Oh, in English?
Well, Teal can say it if
you
you want.
can
Okay,
say
okay,
it.
okay.
He's
So
trying to
I'll
get
make
over
it.
his
I'll make it.
stage fright.
No, I'll make it a bit shorter in English. So first of all, I wanted to thank like the audience that you come up or show up for this workshop, because like the audience and the fans are what is like fueling Teal or inspiring or giving her like, let's say, the energy that...
It's the reason I come here. Yeah, that's what...
Yeah, and I was also saying that at the beginning that there were like some complications with the seatings and whatever. So that was like, yeah, like because I'm the one organizing this, so I'm responsible for this. So if you want to complain, then just write me or talk to me and not to Teal. But I also wanted to say that I really hope that you enjoyed this workshop, because I did, and it was like, I really like it was great. I had laughed. It was inspirational, and so yes. So basically, thank all of you for coming up.
Yes.
Thank you.
So to close, I want the practice that we all in this particular audience to walk away with to be the practice of becoming softer. Of course, I have a personal vendetta about this one because of the collective vibrational issue of Prague in general, being that I have to be strong, I have to be hard, essentially, to live here. But it's not the case, and it's the thing that is causing the most problems in this particular area of the globe and in this particular audience. So my challenge to you, as I go back to my respective part of the world so far, I probably will buy a house here someday, by the way, because I'm in love with this city. But for now, when I go back on that airplane and fly back home, I would love it if I knew that what I left behind was a group of people who were dedicated to the practice of becoming softer, so that you could become intimately connected with each other and sensitive enough to create the kind of world which we all want to live in. Because this world, I think, all of us in it, especially the young ones who are coming in now, deserve to have themselves be cradled in softness instead of raised with iron walls between themselves and the people who love them. So thank you for having me today. I love you.
Okay, so now just Blake can come up.
Thank you.